Hello, bienvenidos, buenas noches to all of our late viewing BC WrestlePod nerds out there, and welcome to another rendition of Los Lobos de la Lucha, your weekly CMLL review team here at the BC WrestlePod conglomeration YouTube, Twitch channel thingamajig we got going on. We are the bards of professional wrestling. We are the jack of all trades, master of none kind of approach here. But we are so excited to have you join us once again for another exciting week in Arena de Mexico in La Catedral. I am one of your hosts, Mikey, and joining me this week, it's going to be Team Fruit Loops up here because I am super excited. But Papa also is back in the building, so I'm super happy to have him here. And trust me, he has no idea how much I needed him tonight.
That's what I'm here for.
You're the emotional push-up bra that I need to run the ship.
There we go.
Oh my
athletic
goodness.
Supporter.
Yes, you are the athletic supporter. It's gonna get ready, folks, because it's gonna be that kind of show tonight. I'm just gonna be all the way 100. I am off my rocker. I have so much caffeine in my system. It is about to be a show where all things have no filter, so it's gonna be so good. Unfortunately, we are missing El Buntador the second tonight. I think last I checked, he got called out during our WWE review, so he might be fighting El Fakador, Senior Luchadon. So apparently there might be a match happening in the spring. Who knows what's happening with all of that anymore? It is getting wild here. I just run a show and things just happen. It's crazy. But that's kind of how I felt that this week's CMLL went. It's just a lot of things went down. So we're going to be reviewing the Viernes Espectacular show this week because that's the only thing that all of us were able to watch collectively because wrestling decided to drop a bomb on us because there was a lot of things going on in all the promotions. The whole entire Vincent Kennedy McMahon documentary just dropped today on Netflix. So I'm just like, the world is about to be on fire for the next couple of days. And I thrive in chaos because I'm a messy bitch. Anyways, but we are here to talk about CMLL. I am super excited to talk about this because this was a fantastic show. And then at the end, I'm going to be breaking some news because we have more participants added to our Amazona Grand Prix International coming up in a couple of weeks, which makes me super excited. So if you don't know what we're talking about, check our review a couple weeks ago where we talked about the men's international Grand Prix because now the women are about to have theirs in a couple of weeks at the end of October, which has me excited. But we're going to kick things off with our first match that opened up Viernes Espectacular this week, which was a one-fall tag team match between Rayo Metálico and Legendario taking on the team of Infarto and Alom. So I am used to seeing these folks because these folks pop up a lot on the Saturday, Coliseum shows. Also, that is where my man Robin is also there. I'm just putting it out there. I need Robin to appear more on Fridays. I think he is awesome and he needs to be on here. I digress, though. I thought this was a fun opener match, as we tend to talk about every week here at Los Lobos de la Lucha. I think the opening match is always important because it's going to set the precedence. It's going to set the tone for what the rest of the evening is going to bring. And I thought this was a little fun opener match. Again, most of these folks are relegated to the Saturday Coliseum shows, but I love them regardless. And yeah, I thought this was a fun opener. Rayo Metálico and Legendario do pick up the win here. And you know what? This definitely helped set the mood because there was a lot more action to come down the line in the evening because it just got wilder from here. Also, just as a fair warning, because Team Fruit Loops is on the case tonight, it is going to be a mix of review and ogling. So just be prepared. I'm so excited. Will has been waiting all day for this moment.
I like my menses, especially the CMLL menses.
I need them to have a calendar. Yes, I need them to make a calendar.
I know, seriously. I would have it right here to my left.
We will make one for you. That is my Christmas present to you. I will make one for you.
Love the big beefy boys.
That we do. But yeah, so Papa also, that was what opened it up. So how do we feel about this opener?
Well, I don't know these wrestlers because you said they're from the Saturday show, so I don't really know them. So I don't have any technical stuff because this was my first exposure. So, but you know, they were handsome.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Papa also. Just kidding. Continue.
At least I can tell you that. Of course, you're going to hear me say it 100 million times every time we do this review. You're going to hear me talk about luchador style wrestling and how amazing it is, and how if you haven't watched it, if you haven't seen it, you really need to. You not just watch it, but experience it. I constantly say, you know, I'm in Texas, so I don't mind saying that. I'm in Texas, and so I'm not that really. I say not really that far away from Mexico. I'm still a whole day's journey away, but I really want to get down to Mexico and see a live show. I want to see one so bad, because when you watch it, you get so pulled into it, and I can only imagine if that's happening to me on like a small screen. I can only imagine what it's like being there, like just getting pulled into it. I mean, the sights, the smells, the sounds. I mean, it is super amazing watching it on a small screen on a TV or a computer or whatever. It really is. I get gassed. I get like pumped, but I can only imagine what it's like in real life. You know, I mean, truly, you know, hopefully it's not one of those, you know, never meet your hero type things, but you know, where you go and you're like, oh, this is not as good as I thought it was going to be, but which I doubt. But I love this style of wrestling, and I think that American style of wrestling should take some pointers from these guys, because you nowhere else I say not nowhere else, but not many places do you find such acrobatics, and these, especially the men's matches. Now, these like men's matches at the beginning, they're almost like a dance. They feel choreographed. They feel, and I don't mean like staged. I mean, they feel like naturally, they flow. You know, everything is just pretty. I mean, it's really amazing to watch. And these guys, they are launching themselves from top ropes. I mean, like slingshots. I mean, it's incredible to watch. I never get tired of them launching themselves through the ropes. I never get tired of that. You know, and everyone's like, oh, they do it all the time. I'm like, I never get tired of it, because they make it so exciting that you can't get tired of it. That's what's so great, because it's always different every time it happens. So you're going to hear me say this through the whole shebang, because I love this style of wrestling. I'm new to it. I've only recently been introduced to it, like truly, and it just grabbed hold of me by the balls, man. It really did. It was like, oh, I'm here for it now. So I love it. I love the tradition of it. I love the spirituality of it. I love the respect these wrestlers have for each other. No matter if you're technico or rudo, they have this respect as wrestlers. Now, their characters may hate each other, but as wrestlers, they have this respect. And I just think that is so amazing. And it's not something we see a lot of in American style wrestling. And I really wish we did. You know, it's that idea of like, I can get in the ring and I can kick your rear end, but we can go have a beer after. You know, it's like that sort of thing. But yeah, so this, you know, I love it all. So no matter, you know, and I always tell I think these guys laugh at me, but I'm like, whenever I watch one of these shows, I'm like, there wasn't a match that I didn't like. You know, it's like I liked them all, because I love the style and I love the wrestlers, and you know, I'm getting better at names and recognizing people, and so, you know, and I've got my favorites already. You know, I'm like fanboying for some of these guys, and which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But I know. I just love it. This. If you have never watched it, go watch it. Truly, you will fall in love with it. I guarantee you. So.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? This energy kept going through because next up in our next match, this was our where we get our traditional 2 out of 3 falls matches, but this saw La Dinastía Panther, so Blue Panther Jr., Dark Panther, and Hijo de Blue Panther taking on La Ola Negra, which is the team made up of Dark Magic, Espanto Jr., and Raider. I'm just gonna put it out there. Espanto tends to be my favorite when it comes to his entrances because this man wears a whole entire suit down to the ring before he wrestles. I was like, talk about a boss move there. I actually really like this. I love anytime we get to see the Blue Panther family, which includes Blue Panther Jr., Dark Panther, and the Hijo de Blue Panther. So we have that whole legacy going on. And you know what? It's been a hot minute since we seen the faction of La Ola Negra on Viernes Espectacular. But I enjoyed Dark Magic, Espanto, and Raider too. Of course, good back and forth, but ultimately our technicals do pull out the wins. So Blue Panther, Dark Panther, and Hijo de Blue Panther do pick up the victory here. And I'm like, I like watching generations of people just be on one singular team. It's so much fun to watch.
Yes.
I love it so much. But Will, this was what our second match of the evening. How did we feel about, this match?
Well, this is another thing that I really like about this style of wrestling is this idea of it being generational. That you will find it's not uncommon to find multiple generations fighting together, or in the that was weird, or in the sort of in the wrestling business, and I love that. Sorry, I got weird notifications popping up. Because it's who are the other one? There's another, like right now, it's like the Guerreros. I think they're another one. But I love, and then it's the oh my goodness, now my brain's gonna shut down on me. Sorry guys. But it's neat to see, and I don't know these guys. Again, I think these are more the Saturday. They're usually on the Saturday shows. So I literally, while you were talking, I was like, oh, let me look them up a little bit. Let me see what they're all about and all that. And they have a really neat history, actually. I'm not going to share you guys with the details, but I thought it was so neat. And I love that they fight together. And Blue Panther, by the way, it's like, I was like, hello there. But the whole family is gorgeous, by the way. Sorry, I'm looking at photographs. But yeah, so I love this. This is another thing I love about luchador style wrestling is the idea that, again, it's that idea of tradition. And the idea that a son follows in his father's footsteps, or even a daughter, even if they have a daughter, because in this style of wrestling, you've got the Amazonians that are amazing, so you've got a daughter who's like, oh, I want to do that. Like, okay, let's do it. I just love that, and we have that in American style wrestling, but I don't think we have what this is, because this is something completely different than what we have in American style wrestling. It doesn't feel, in American style wrestling, it doesn't feel traditional. It just feels like, hey, we're a family and we all like to wrestle. Let's just wrestle together. It just feels different. And again, it's just, I can't speak highly enough of this style of wrestling. I can't. It is such a joy to watch. And I absolutely love the three of these guys fighting together, watching them, it makes me feel proud. I'm not even a member of the family and I feel proud. It's like, oh, look at them. They're working together. And how cool is it that, you go, I get to go to work every day with my dad and my grandfather. You know, it's like, and we wrestle together, you know, or whatever. Or my brothers, my brother and my dad, or my my brother and my sister, and this. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, that is super cool to me. I just think that would be so neat. If I was ever going to be a wrestler, I think, I would love that to be me. So I loved it. I need to check these guys out more, though. Like their style, not them, because they're pretty hot, but I need to check out their style. I can't hear you.
Again, when technology wants to work for you, it will. It's that kind of show tonight.
I was like,
I had this
awkward
whole
silence.
I had this whole heartfelt thing going on, and then you know what? The moment was ruined. How dare you, microphone? I'm mad at you. But no, again, I agree with you there that I love watching generation upon generations being able to wrestle in Arena de Mexico, and a lot of the time we get to see them currently wrestle with the folks that are still there, who are in that lineage. So it's fantastic for sure, and I love it. So then we get into our next match, and I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of surprised that we didn't see my favorite person pick up a victory here, but you know what? That's okay. Because next we get the team of Los Depredadores, so Rugido Vegas and Magnus, taking on the team of Flip Gordon, Neon, and probably one of my personal favorite wrestlers right now, just because of how product placey he is, but he actually can wrestle, is our Mexican candy representing luchador, Del Encapuchado. I'm just like, give me more. I know we were, skeptical at first when he popped up on the screen not too long ago, but you know what? This man can wrestle. And I'm just like, hey, you know what? If Mexican candy can come to life and wrestle, that means I can achieve my dreams too. This match was really fun. It's what I expected from all 6 of these men that are in the ring. Of course, I was super happy to see Flip Gordon back in action here in Arena de Mexico, especially since at the 91st anniversary show 2 weeks ago, or was it last week? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, he and Rocky Romero were about to throw hands in the middle of the ring. So hopefully we'll revisit that in some capacity, but this was really fun, high flying. I mean, this Lucha Libre, of course, is going to be high flying, but we know Flip Gordon to do all these crazy stuff. But I gotta be honest, Will, I was kind of surprised to see Rugido Vegas and Magnus pick up the victory here, but like pleasantly surprised. So how do we feel about this? And I will say, this is probably the youngins match, because all these folks, I was like, y'all are like in your late 20s, early 30s. Like, you could still do this and not break a hip. Like, I sneeze and like things can go wrong.
I know, right. Well, I love Flip Gordon. One, he's just yummy. But I'm a big fan of Magnus. I tend to, this is funny. I tend to flip flop on a lot of people. I'm like really technico in some areas, and I'm ruido in others. Because some of the rudos are kind of edgy and hot, and Magnus is one of those. So I'm excited that Magnus picked this victory up. Because I think, the more and more I see Magnus, the more and more I freaking love him in his in-ring work. I love his in-ring work. It's so good. And of course, Flip Gordon is just fun to watch. I mean, truly. But I was kind of happy that Magnus and then won this one, because I like, yeah. I mean, I could have probably been happy either way, but because I don't really care who wins as long as I get to watch it. But yeah, I was excited to find out that Magnus won this one. I'm okay with that. Because the last match he was in, he did not win. The one I saw.
No, he did not.
Yeah, so good for him for getting a win.
Right. I'm biased as hell. I was like, I wanted Flip to win.
I
But that's okay.
know.
I know. That's okay. Listen, Flip and Robin are like my two dudes right now. Like, I will say though, the CMLL, the 91st anniversary show though, I was already a big fan of Titan, but
Yeah.
now I'm like a huge supporter, and now I'm an even bigger mark, as the kids say, for Echiseto after that match too. Which
Oh
is
yeah.
crazy because we're gonna talk about both of them in a hot minute, but we're gonna talk about Titan first because he was up next. This was my personal match of the night. And this was just like, let's just throw everybody in this ring and let's let's see what happens. And magic was made. Because in the 2 out of 3 falls match, it was the team of Templario, Atlantis Jr., and Titan taking on the faction of Los Guerreros Laguneros. So this was the team of Ultimo Guerrero, Stuka Jr., and Gran Guerrero. I love his headpiece every time he comes in. I'm always going to say that, like, represent the culture, my dude. This was my favorite match of the night because everybody did a great thing. I never get tired of watching Gran Guerrero just like, whether he's Technico or Rudo, do the hands up motion to the crowd, and he
Yep.
gets cheered and booed depending on the night. It's fantastic. Gran Guerrero is also fantastic. I was like, thick lies do indeed save lies. But let me tell you, the team of Titan, Atlantis, and Templario was something I did not know I wanted, but now I need more of because their synergy as a team actually complements each other very, very well. You have Templario as the powerhouse of the team. I mean, that man is a mountain. He is beef incarnate.
Oh,
Then
God.
you have Atlantis Jr., who's like in the middle, who can do the high flying and the more grounded stuff. And Titan is just like a little rocket just bouncing all over the place. And then incorporating his more Japanese strong style and to the mat wrestling. This had everything I wanted. This was my match of the night. I love this, but I'm going to pass it on to Will because he is now going to write his magnum opus as to why this match was amazing. I'm just kidding. Will, how did we feel about this match?
Okay, well, I just Googled because I wasn't sure, but Templario is only 5'8".
Wow, that's wild. And I thought he was like 6 foot.
I thought he was like 6 foot something. He's only 5'8". He looks so huge in that ring.
Wait a minute. Does that mean you're taller than him?
Yeah, that means I'm taller. He'd be a short
That's
king.
wild. That's wild.
Yeah, he's like 4 inches shorter than I am. So that's, he's a short king, and I'm okay with that. But no, truly though, he is so. This is so great. This shows kind of this kind of goes to the showmanship of it all. When that man walks into this arena, he feels 12 feet tall. I mean, he just fills the space. I mean, he's a big guy, but I mean, I literally, when I saw that he was 5'8", I was like, what? No, that's got to be wrong. There's no way he's only 5'8", because he's so big in the arena. And I'm floored by that, but it's kind of hot too. So what made this a great match? Well, Templario and Atlantis Jr. and Titan did, of course. Hello. They made it spicy. The other team was like, now I will say Guerrero, I absolutely love how he can get the crowd going. Like, he's the one, he throws those hands up and the crowd just goes crazy. I mean, it's so neat to watch. So, but I love all 6 of these guys. I mean, this is just like, if I had a fantasy wrestling team, this would be them. And I also have to say, every time he comes out, I freaking love Atlantis Jr.'s mask with the fish on it.
Oh, me too.
I freaking love that. It is so much fun. And of course, Titan, I am a huge fan of, especially from the 91st, well, not just that one, but from previous events. I think he's just I mean, I put him up there with Templario and the idea of the powerhouse, because he's kind of both. He can kind of do both the sort of the power hits and the high flying, you know. And and I know that Templario is more of that sort of power base sort of wrestle style, but I think Teton is so kind of both. And Atlantis Jr. I think is much more high flyer than anything else, but it's so neat to watch, and we've seen these guys wrestle before. And this is another thing about luchador style wrestling. It doesn't matter if you've seen them wrestle before. This is a whole different match. The energy is different. Even though they're doing a lot of the same moves they always do, man, let me tell you, the energy in this match and any match that these six men are fighting in, it is like a whole new thing. Like I've never seen them fight before. And I know I have. It's like I think this exact same setup I've seen. And it is so neat to watch that. And it's so neat that the style of wrestling can do that to you. It can do that for you, not to you. It can do that for you. It literally is like, oh, I just watched, Templario and Titan just fight each other. Oh, look, Templario and Titan are fighting again tonight. And it's like, oh, well, this is a whole new match. It's like, wait a minute. So I love how this style of wrestling can just sort of, you get a reset every time. And it's just so neat. I mean, it's just so neat. And of course, having all the eye candy on there is just, an added bonus. Templario just makes me moist. He does. He makes my thighs quiver. He does. He does. And Titan is now getting into that area too. He's starting to be more like getting me to shiver when he walks out. So, yeah, this match was awesome because those guys are hot. That's not why it was awesome. That was the spice. That was the spice and the chili.
That was the cherry on top.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh my goodness. I thought this was a fun match. Templario, Atlantis Jr., and Titan do pick up the victory here. So super happy. And then the energy kept going because in our semi-main event, we have a Relampago match, so a lightning match. For those of you who are just joining us for CMLL, this is a speed match that has a 10-minute time limit. And, they just go at it. And this one had Místico versus Averno. So, I love watching, even though Místico, as we said before, is like the golden poster child for CMLL right now. I love that we're not afraid to because usually if you're the poster child in the West during wrestling federations, you're always going to end up being in the main event of whatever show you're doing. I love watching Místico, our poster child, be like, you know what? I'm in the semi-main event, but I'm not in the main event, and I'm cool with that. This was a really fun Relampago match. I honestly thought, I was like, okay, I don't think Místico is losing at any rate, but I will say Averno did make me a believer. I'm like, oh my God, I think he might actually do it. What I love about these matches, as they say all the time, is I love that there's a sense of urgency every single time we see one of these. It's like, we got 10 minutes, I'm going to beat you, or, I'm going to die trying. And these men did everything, and we got close. It got to 9 minutes before we've had the match end with Místico picking up the victory here. But my goodness, this match was really good. I'm starting to love Averno as one of my favorite rudos here, because every time I see him, I was like, wow, he's just out for blood, and I'm kind of here for it. He has an axe to grind, and it's fantastic. Will, how do we feel about our semi-main event for this show?
So I like these speed rounds. I really do like them, and I like them for a couple of different reasons. The main reason is like you said, I like the fact that there's a sense of urgency. These matches are not pretty, like the previous men's matches that are sort of choreographed and kind of pretty showy. These are literally okay, we got 10 minutes. One of us has to destroy the other, and so there's not a lot of pausing. you might say, I guess, because like in a normal match, you have that set, go, set, go. In these, it's very much like set, go, set, go, set, go, set, go. There's no like extended pausing as they're trying to show. It's literally like, we got 10 minutes, we got to get on this. So it's like, and the other thing I love about this, and I guess this is sort of a compliment to Mystico, is the fact that when he does a lot of these matches, he gets very close to being defeated a lot of times, and I love that. And, it's not just oh look, Mystico is fighting. Okay, we know what's going to happen. His opponent's not going to get anywhere near this, that. But no, when Mystico fights there are a lot of close calls, and we've seen a couple of these with him and others, and a couple of them have gone the full 10 minutes, but a couple of them have gone to where it was like, ooh, gosh, I think he might lose this match. Even though you're like, no way Mystico's going to lose the match. They'll either go to 10 minutes or he'll be the one to pin or submit or have this person submit to him. But I love these sort of they make things exciting. Again, there's something else that, American wrestling should do these things. It's just like, it just makes it exciting. The crowd gets excited, and it just adds to the energy. I love these lightning rounds, and I kind of wish they would do more than just an event. That'd be neat. I don't think, have we ever seen like an Amazona lightning round? Have we watched one?
That's a good question. I don't think I'm pretty sure we've maybe seen like one, but honestly, I can't even tell you if that's that. Yeah, I don't think we've seen an Amazona one since we started watching CMLL back in June.
Okay.
Wow, that's crazy.
I know. But I would be pleased to watch a lightning round with Persephone and maybe not Persephone. I'm sorry. Well, I love Persephone. She's my favorite. But Xerxes, is that how you pronounce her name?
Yeah, Persephone.
Yeah, and the two of them going. I would love to see that. That would be so great. But yeah, I was trying to think. I was like, have we seen a women's lightning round? I don't know. I can't remember. Huh. But I'd like to see it.
Right, for sure. Again, Mystico picks up the win here, which then leads us into our main event. Lord have mercy to the wrestling gods in heaven. I want to thank you for this match, because this was literally, and this is not an understatement, this was literally our pound for pound match, because this had all of the beef in this match. So this is our main event in a 2 out of 3 falls match. We had the team of Valiente, Barbaro Cavernario, and Hechicero take on the team of Esfinge Euforia, who is now maskless because of the match at the anniversary show, and Soberano Jr. Oh, what I think the biggest takeaway from this match is that Euforia is full of anger and bitterness and hate, and I'm kind of here for it. And bro looked like bro pulled up in like a leather jacket. I'm like, what in the biker gang is this? Like, what just happened? You look like an extra that walked out of Sons of Anarchy, and I was kind of here for it. And I gotta say, I was like, oh shit, this story ain't over yet, because the team of Valiente, Barbaro Cavernario, and Hechicero win, but that's because in the third fall, Euforia got the DQ for his team by demasking Hechicero. I was like, oh damn, the story's not over yet. We're gonna keep on going. Look, if we get another one-on-one match between Hechicero and Euforia, like we got at the anniversary show, like sign me up. Like, give it to me now. Like, this is, I love a messy queen. I love a petty bitch. Like, this is pettiness incarnate, and I'm kind of here. All of that, and I am excited. But Will, I know we talked about Templario and just like how he makes the juice go loose. But let me tell you, this was like almost 900 pounds of beef in this ring. Like, we got short kings, big kings, like daddy kings. Like, this is crazy. So how do we feel about our main event?
Well, I really, since the mask for mask match with Hechicero and Euphoria, I really like Hechicero. I really like Hechicero. I think he's a great wrestler. I thought he did amazing. And I think, and I also, hey buddy, I also love, and I love Euphoria as well. And I love the fact that he is embracing this idea of oh, I have no mask anymore, so now I'm like this super villain basically. So, and he is out for blood. It's like oof, because I was watching this one, and here recently I watched it right here. I was watching it while you were talking, and the clip from it again because I wanted to see and I saw the demasking at the end. But it was fun, to go back real quick at the beginning of this episode when they show you the previously on CMLL. They showed that, and of course it was brought all the emotion back again, and I was like, oh god. And now it's now Euphoria is like, okay, you got my mask. Now I'm going to take your soul. And he was fighting. He was ripping souls out of people's bodies. I was just and then of course he literally took the soul from Hechicero, which, I guess, eye for an eye, my man. And yeah, so I think we've got a truly a long-term rival right with these two, and I am so excited to see what comes of it because Hechicero is gonna come after him, it. So that's
retaliation.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I think it's gonna be of course Euphoria is like, what are you gonna do? Take my mask? It's like we're So yeah, I love Petty. I love the Petty. The Petty is great. It's so great. So yeah, I'm loving. And yeah, this was a charcuterie board of beef.
Oh my goodness, this was a really fun show, and that was our main event. And so that brings us to the end of our regular review, but we're not leaving just quite yet because CMLL likes to drop a bunch of news half the time when we do these shows anyways. And boy howdy, did they drop a lot of stuff for us. So in the next couple of weeks, we're going to see some really fun shows. Literally next Friday show or this Friday show is our Night of Champions. So all the matches we're getting is just going to be nothing but championship matches based on the audience's vote and who would be facing them. So and we also got some news about our Women's Grand Prix coming on very shortly on Friday, October 27th. So let's just start with, Night of Champions. So Night of Champions is going to be this Friday, and I'm super excited to watch it. So it's going to be fantastic. I think it's going to be a fun one. But here are the matches that were voted on. And now we have, hold on, let me pull my list real quick. I know my internet's deciding to kill me. Anyways, alrighty, so here we go. So for Night of Champions, these are the matches and the match order that we are getting them in. So for the CMLL Trios Championship, we are getting the faction of Los Infernales. So that faction is made up of El Santanico, Mephisto, Euphoria, Hechicero. So this is going to be interesting. So those folks are going up against our champions in Máscara Dorada, Neon, and Star Jr. That's opening up Night of Champions on Friday. Will, you're going to get a kick. Papa, so you're going to get a kick of this next one because the second match going on is for the CMLL Mini Micro Star Championship. So we're getting a Micro Star match. Yes,
That's awesome.
I wish El Butador was here, but we're getting Peritito challenging Ultimo Dragoncito for the CMLL Mini Championship. I am so excited. We get to see a Micro Stars match.
That
Oh
is
my!
badass.
Oh, it gets even fun too. So next up, we have challenging for the Mexican Tag Team Championships. We have the Villanos. So I believe that's either Villano the second and third, taking on our champions in Magnus and Rugido. So that should be a good one.
Oh, yeah.
For the Mexican Women's Championship, we have Sanely taking on the champion Reina Isis. So I believe we saw Reina last week. So that should be a fun match. Challenging for the CMLL Middleweight Championship. This match I think is probably going to be my favorite. You have Volador Jr. challenging our champion Templario. So Volador Jr. and Templario, I'm like, this is going to be a great match.
Awesome.
But then in the semi-main event, it is going to be Soberano Jr. challenging Atlantis Jr. for the NWA Light Heavyweight Championship. Oh, that match is going to be great. And then in the main event, according to the votes from the public, Rayo Metalico will be challenging Futuro for the Mexican Lightweight Championship, which means those boys are going to go flying all over the place.
Wow, you're not kidding.
Bro, Papa was 7 matches for Night of Champions. I am so excited for this Friday.
Oh, yes, indeed. Oh,
so that's this Friday. So I can't wait to watch that. But we're not done with news because every single Wednesday or Tuesday, depending on where you are in the world, CMLL has their La Informa news show where they let us know. So on the Informa show, they told us about everything going down for Night of Champions. But in breaking news, Papa Oso, we got the full team for Team Worlds being represented in the Grand Prix coming up on October 27th. So some of these names we recognize. Some of these folks are new to some of us, but listen, women from all over the world kicking ass. I'm here for it. So filling out the entirety of Team World. So this is, our international team. We have our captain in Tessa Blanchard. So we know she is one half of our CMLL Women's Tag Team Champion, and she is the champion of last year's tournament. So she gets to be a part of this. So Tessa is our captain. And rounding out the rest of Team World is representing CMLL, La Catalina. So that's going to be interesting. From Japan, we have Sayaka Unagi. Representing Costa Rica is our Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion, Red Velvet. I can't wait to show Andrew. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's going international. I can't wait. So she's representing ROH. Representing Costa Rica is Samantha Black. Also representing Japan is Sumika Yanagawa. From the United States, and we just saw her at the anniversary show, representing AEW is Miss Willow Nightingale, which makes me super happy. Representing Vietnam and the New Japan Strong Dojo here in Los Angeles is Miss Viva Van. So I'm super excited to see her again. Representing the UK is Alex Windsor, and I am so stoked. I have been following her forever. This girl's about to throw hands. And then rounding out Team World is our CMLL's own Persephone. So she's going to be joining the World team. And so that is who we have for our international team. And as of right now, the only confirmed participants for Team Mexico is one half is Uvia, one half of our tag champs. And then our new CMLL women's champion, Zuxis, is also going to be part of Team Mexico. I'm excited. Listen, I'm just here. I'm like half these names. I was like, I know some of these. I'm not familiar with others, but 20 women kicking ass in the ring. I was just like, what more can you ask?
Exactly.
Night of Champions and this Grand Prix. It is like the next couple of weeks of CMLL. I'm so excited. I cannot wait.
Wow. That's going to be badassery at its best.
It really is. I don't know what's more exciting, the fact that we get to see the women's Grand Prix in a couple of weeks, or the fact that we actually get a Micro Stars Championship this Friday for Night of Champions. Has me more excited.
I love that. I think that's going to be so much fun. So much fun.
But yeah, I'm excited for that Volador Jr. and Templario match. And I'm also excited for the Soberano Jr. and Atlantis Jr. match. Like, honestly, I think all these matches have the tendency to be amazing. Oh my goodness. But Papa also, I hate to say this, but this brings us to the end of this week's CMLL.
I know.
I know. But the cool thing is that next week when we come back, we get to review Night of Champions for CMLL. So this is going to be a good show. I cannot wait. This is going to be so good.
I'm very excited.
I am too, but we got to get up on out of here. So thank you for tuning in to this week's Los Lobos de la Lucha review. When we come back next Wednesday, we will be reviewing Night of Champions, which is less than 2 days from the time of this recording, as well as anything else that happens within the world of CMLL. But for myself, Papa also, our spirit guide, El Buntador II, and the rest of the BC WrestlePod family, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay biconic, but more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will catch you next week for Night of Champions. But until then, sayonara, adios, and ta-ta for now.